But, yeah, we're doing the schedule routine here, looking at the upcoming schedules. And today is Florida State on the docket. So last year, Florida State 2-10, missed the bowl game. This, of course, on the heels of the big controversy getting left out of the college football playoff, of which they had a major case of legitimate gripes. But man, did not walk the walk, I should say, the following year. They talked the talk all offseason and then walked right into a 2-10 year. Paul, what was your favorite moment from last year? Was it the 14-9 win over Cal at home, or was it the blowout of Charleston Southern late in the year?
It was beating Cal because of the Calgorithm. Like that was satisfying and remains satisfying, considering that was their only ACC win. And those nerds at Cal talked a lot of crap and rolled into tally and lost.
The nerds won. Or, excuse me, lost. Yeah, sorry.
Cal lost, yeah.
Yeah, 14-9.
Well, they must suck then if they went into tally and got rolled.
Yeah, they didn't get rolled. It was 14-9, but, it was one of those things where it was like, all right, good for you guys. You didn't go 0-5. You're now 1-4. And then they proceeded to lose their next 6.
Yep. So pretty rough year. A couple of wins, and that was it. Blowout loss to Florida. Blowout loss to SMU. Beat up by Clemson. Blowout loss to Miami. Blowout loss to Notre Dame. Blowout loss to North Carolina. I mean, they didn't get just beat. They got whooped.
Yeah. You know what the other first was last year as Mac Brown went out the door? That was the first time that he'd ever beaten his alma mater.
Yeah. Well, that's very interesting. Yeah.
Oh, that's right.
Well,
that's
good
right.
for him.
Yeah.
Good for Mac on out the door. So that was last year. DJ Uiagalelei is not back. They instead went and poached a new quarterback from within the ACC and Thomas Castellanos. We'll see how that works out for them. But, of course, this is not a preview of the team itself, just of the schedule. So taking a look at the schedule for Florida State in 2025, they open play on Saturday, October the 30th. And they open up with a pretty massive game, the biggest game on the schedule, just on paper, outside of your normal rivalries. It is the Alabama Crimson Tide.
Holy God.
Right there at the start of the season, Saturday, August the 30th. It'll be Seminoles and the Tide. And this is not a series that has been played very often at all. They've played 4 times. Alabama's won 3 of those, and there was a tie. So Florida State would like to get their first ever win, and the tie is not even a tie, it's a vacated win. Was actually a Florida State Bobby Bowden win, but it got vacated, so it doesn't count as a loss.
Over whom, by the way? Nick Saban in his first year.
Yep, 2007, Florida State beat them 21-14, but that got vacated, so that counts as a tie rather than as a loss. So the all-time series is 3-1-0 in favor of Alabama. They last played in 2017 in Atlanta. Was that a playoff game?
No. That was at the beginning of the season. It's when DeAndre Francois' knee exploded.
I love that guy. He didn't turn out to be very good at the end. He was. I thought he was their version of Tommy Frazier. Not that thick, strong type guy, but
I was hopeful for him.
He was just a smooth-looking athlete, is what he.
Yeah, he was. And then that play, I can see it in my head right now, where everybody went.
That's not good.
Yeah, that's bad.
So that was the last time they met was in that game, and should have looked into that. But that's why we have you here as the encyclopedia for Florida State. So it's been a few years since they last played. So they will play on Saturday, August the 30th. Then the following week, Florida State gets East Texas A&M, formerly known as
Kendall Paul.
Texas A&M Commerce.
Glad he's not going to be there.
Yeah.
That will be in Tallahassee, and then they get a break. So 2 games and a break. Alabama, East Texas A&M, and then their first bye.
Yeah, here's the noise I'll make for Alabama. I just don't. I'm fearful of it because their coach is in year 2, and that's where he can really.
He's got some proving to do, though, man.
He'll have a forced sale sign in his yard if he doesn't win that game.
But they do have a lot. Like, who's their quarterback at Alabama? Like, what's going on there?
To be your best requires commitment, dedication, intensity. It's what defines elite athletes and inspires Airwaav to find new ways to optimize your performance. Introducing Airwaav Recovery, a mouthpiece designed to work while you sleep to further unlock your potential. Airwaav Recovery features our patented reflex technology, small, integrated bumps uniquely positioned to activate your tongue's natural response. Your tongue will instinctively move forward, opening your airway and improving your quality of sleep. And thanks to our patented fitting material and a purpose-designed support wall, you'll enjoy a secure, comfortable fit all night long. With Airwaav Recovery, you sleep better and recharge faster. Airwaav Recovery, recharge your potential.
Which blue chip will they select?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's the other thing. Is that guy any good? Of course they have Ryan Williams, so if the play is throw the ball to Ryan Williams, I'm not sure Florida State's going to defend that really well, but they haven't really had a great running game outside of Milroe in the last couple of years. So maybe
yeah, but he's got his coaches with him now.
But I would say that playing Alabama the first game out of the box off of 2-10 is not ideal.
No, it's not. So that's in Tallahassee, though, so we'll see how that goes. If you want to bet on it right now, Alabama's already 8-point favorites.
Bad.
There's that. East Texas A&M.
Which means they're really like 11-point favorites.
Probably. But East Texas A&M at least gets you halfway to last year's win total if you lose that Alabama game.
Clint Dozell. You remember him? We were in Arena League quarterback, I think, with Dallas when they had that Arena League team that was so good.
Yeah.
Did he play for Commerce or something?
He's a coach at Commerce.
Okay.
Yeah, he's a head coach. But he was, I don't know if he ever was actually in the NFL, but he was in the Arena League for quite some time.
All right, so after East Texas A&M, they get a break, and then it is Kent State on Saturday, September the 20th. So they will close out their non-conference slate there with Kent State, who was absolutely one of the worst teams in the country last year. So they should be 2-1 at worst. I mean, that's for damn sure. They should at least be 2-1, and if not, then they are in a big old heap of trouble. And Norvell's probably not there very much longer, but they'll be 2-1 at least. Then on September the 26th, they get one of two Friday games on the schedule, as they will be on the road at the Virginia Cavaliers to open ACC play on a Friday night. Then the following Saturday, the big rivalry game with the Miami Hurricanes. The following Saturday, October the 11th, you get Pitt at home, so back-to-back home games there in the middle of the schedule and at the start of the ACC. And then on Saturday, October the 18th, they will travel all the way across the country to Northern California to take on their blood rival in the ACC, the Stanford Cardinals. So there's that second segment. You get Kent State at home. That should be a win. At Virginia, Miami at home, Pitt at home, and then at Stanford before you get your second bye week. And then what will be a pretty nice 5-game stretch to close the season that we'll get to.
All right, here's how I'll respond emotional noise-wise. Kent State, okay.
Yeah.
Virginia, doesn't scare me. Yeah. Dear God, I don't know about Miami. I don't know. I have no idea. Last year was a bloodbath. But, of course, the year before that was a bloodbath in the other direction. So I don't know how it's going to go. Pitt scares the crap out of me, so that's more of the, oh, dear God. Whew. Because of Eli Holstein. And then Stanford, all right, nerds, we're coming to you.
Whatever. Yeah.
We're coming to you. So
It'll be a cool road trip, though. I mean, that's a beautiful part of the country for anybody that heads out that way. So there's at least that. But then they do get a break after that Stanford game, and it's the third leg of the season. So with that early bye week, they go 2-5-5, which is another unique setup in terms of the schedules we've gone over, which is like 20 at this point. So in that third and final leg on Saturday, November the 1st, it'll be Wake Forest at home. Then Saturday, November the 8th, at Clemson.
Oh, boy.
Saturday, November 15th, home against the Virginia Tech Hokies, which, man, if there's a team from my childhood that's just lost a lot of luster, it's the Virginia Tech program. But Va-Tech, who, could be okay. We got a quarterback we know pretty well.
Yeah.
Then on November the 21st, another Friday game, their second of two Friday games at NC State. And then they close it the following week with an extra day to prepare for their other hated rival, the Florida Gators, in the swamp of Gainesville on November the 29th. So back-to-back road games to close out the season. 3 out of their last 4 games to close the season are on the road at Clemson, at NC State, and at Florida. And then, as I mentioned, 2 Friday games. Some of the teams they miss out on, they don't play Duke, which might be a good thing. They don't play North Carolina, so you won't see Belichick. They don't play Boston College. They don't play Louisville. They don't play SMU. They don't play Georgia Tech. So there's a few teams there that you probably would pick against them.
And last year, part of the reason they were already bad, but their schedule wound up being even harder than they thought. So I think that when you look at this one, it's a little bit lighter than it was last year, but that's just assuming that none of these teams are better, like Virginia Tech and NC State. They could turn around and be just like Georgia Tech, but Wake Forest, not worried about that. Clemson is going to be. I don't know. I don't. Oh dear God, that's just I'm nauseous.
You can't even hope that Klubnik's not very good still. He's he's good.
Turned
that around last year.
Yeah, he's good. They're in the 3rd year of the system too, which is only going to make him better. Virginia Tech, don't really know. NC State, they never play well at Carter Finley. Never play well at Carter Finley.
Isn't that weird how there's
it's just they win games, but it's always how did they do that? I remember asking Christian Ponder about it. His probably lowest moment as a quarterback at Florida State was he's going to run in for the winning touchdown at the end of the game and just drop the ball. Didn't get hit. He just dropped.
He wasn't celebrating too early?
No, he was carrying it. It just fell out of his hands. And then, of course,
thank God that happened in that era and not in this era because people would be crying rigged and,
Yeah, it was just not great. And then at Florida to end the year, I think the Gators are going to be excellent. I really do.
Well, as long as they keep Lagway healthy.
If they get Lagway, if they keep Lagway upright and allow him to be DJ Lagway, that's really scary.
So first 3 weeks are all at home. You don't leave until your 4th game of the season. But, yeah, then you do make up for the road games in that second half for sure.
I want to go back to the Alabama game in 2007. Craig, thank you very much. Who's next? Georgia Tech? Are they tomorrow? Would that be next on the
off the top of my head, that's who would be next. Paul, are they going bowling? They should with this schedule.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, look, they've got to me 2 automatic baked-in wins in a row in East Texas A&M and Kent State. Virginia, I'm not scared of them at all. Stanford, not scared of them at all. And between Wake Forest, NC State, and Virginia Tech, they should be able to find at least a 6th win. And I do think that they will be better. I think Thomas Castellanos works well in that offense. Their offensive line will be improved because it can't get worse than letting every single person die.
How many times have you watched the DJ Uiagalelei 2024 highlight tape on YouTube?
None.
I wonder if that even exists.
I got you.
Actually,
I was at his last game against SMU. Where he got hurt. So it's
it wasn't just him. I mean, he was a big part of it, but yeah,
it was. The offensive line was already bad,
right.
And then early on in the season, he gave them no faith. I remember talking to somebody. They said, well, the skill players stink. I'm like, how do you know?
Yeah.
Nobody can get him the ball.
What's Castellano? How big is he?
He's little.
Big.
He's like 5'10".
I remember last year watching him play. He was fun to watch.
He's a water bug.
Yeah.
He has a bit of a turnover issue. And then we don't really know what happened. He quit on the team last year in Boston College. But I'm going to give him the Bill O'Brien can kind of be a jackass card.
You're going to give him the Homer card is what you're going to give him. He's with us now, and I'm just saying.
I mean, here's the thing. He wasn't the one I was hoping for in the transfer portal, but he has kicked their ass twice, once where he did win and once where he didn't.
Yeah.
So
third school for him. He started off with UCF.
Yep.
All right. Thank you, Craig. Georgia Tech is part of that tomorrow as we go day to day, getting through the largest conference in America, the ACC.